Thank you. We'll go back to our panelists and we'll start over again. We're back to Dan Amato from the Americans for Legal Immigration. Do you have another question, sir?
We have a real problem with unscrupulous businesses in this country using cheap illegal alien labor as an unfair competitive business advantage. One of the best solutions businesses have to ensure that they are hiring a legal workforce is the E-Verify program. Recently, that program has been extended for only a period of 6 months and needs to be reauthorized in the coming year. This question pertains to both of the issues I just mentioned. Do you support the prosecution and mandatory incarceration for business owners who use unfair competitive business practice of hiring illegal aliens? And also, do you support the reauthorization of E-Verify and a bill that would make it mandatory for all businesses in the United States to use E-Verify?
Thank you. And we'll start with Frank Lobiondo.
I do support E-Verify, and I voted for a bill in the last session of Congress. We didn't have an opportunity in this session of Congress that set very strict penalties on businesses who knowingly hired illegal aliens, like up to $50,000 per incident. But let me go back to this oil bill for a minute. We have a crisis in America. The Speaker of the House dropped a bill on us 2 weeks ago that had two choices. They were not good choices. To vote no on both would have said we don't have a crisis and ignore it. So ask yourselves, maybe you should ask the other candidates when you get a chance, would they have voted no on both, and would they have ignored the crisis as it stands? The bill I did vote for wasn't a perfect bill. I had the opportunity to vote for alternative energy, for tax credits for alternative energies, and I think that's the kind of solution that goes for America. What we've got from Mr. Krakowski is distortions and attacks and attacks. I did not vote for tax credits for oil companies. In fact, it's just the opposite. And I will be more than happy to personally discuss with any one of you and prove to you what the voting record really is and to show you through these 30-second soundbite attacks.
Thank you. Peter Boyce.
I own a sawmill and deal with a lot of contractors, many of whom are out of work because their jobs have been replaced by illegal aliens. Those that employ illegal aliens and putting American workers out of work need to be heavily fined and or prosecuted.
Okay.
I didn't quite make out the second part of your.
Do you support the reauthorization of E-Verify and a bill that would make it mandatory for all businesses in the United States to use E-Verify?
Yes.
Thank you. David Krakowski.
We've heard some tragic reports, one involving a meatpacking plant in Iowa where illegal aliens were the ones penalized rather than the employer. And I believe that the employer is the one who should have been penalized in that case. And I do believe that we should penalize the employers who do hire illegal aliens without checking. Yes.
Okay. Jason Grover.
I believe it's not an employer's job to check the legal status of a person that they hire to work for them. They give them a social security number, they put it in, they pay taxes. If they're not legal, then that should be the government's job to stop it at the border, stop it at the airport. I can't go to another country without a visa or a passport, but people can walk, from one country to another here. It goes without saying that we need to do something with immigration, but you can't punish business owners who hire the labor that's willing to work. I worked in construction for 10 years, and I saw the lack of drive in a lot of American teens and young adults. They just don't care to actually do physical labor. They feel like they're entitled to something that they're not, and in reality, they need to get up and work. I don't know anybody who would want to hire a person who can't speak English as opposed to someone who can speak English when they can't speak the other language. It doesn't make sense. I don't believe you should punish these people. I think you should stop it at the source.
Thank you. Gary Stein.
May I just go back one or two questions in response to Mr. Grover? You've got a lot of spunk. I admire your spunk, but now this is twice now you've mentioned Muslims, Jews, and Israel, and I wish you would refrain from that. I am Jewish, and maybe we could have a discussion about that some other time. And to Mr. Lobiando, I don't understand his criticism of Mr. Kurkowski. Mr. Kurkowski is only talking about the congressman's effectiveness. I don't see where it's a negative attack. God forbid he should look in my website. He'll see some criticism. On the issue of immigration, then, I am for securing the border, like I said before. I think the path to solving this problem is to increase the gross national product of Mexico, which would be so easy if we could be involved all over the world, interfering with countries, affecting countries. We've got this country right next door to us, and look at the angst we have over this country, which is a fine country. I am very closely aligned with a lot of Mexican immigrants in this country. The true way to do this is to take this amnesty and use it as a resource to pressure Mexico to try to get. There's 50 million Hispanics here. There's 12 million illegals. I mean, I don't know where anyone has an idea of what to do with the 10 to 12 million that are here. They're not going back on their own. It's awful back there. They're not going back. The way.
Thank you, sir. Your time is up.